So we are moving into more of a transfer type of environment in our office. We want to start wiring money out and wiring money in as much as possible. It prevents us from having to unnecessarily meet with people just to pick up a bank draft or just to collect funds. And it actually is the safest way to send and receive money with the bank's large value transfer system. So we're moving into a wire system, but obviously there is going to be some adjustment period with that. Not everyone is set up to send wires and receive wires the same as everyone else. And so we have to be very diligent when we're implementing this system. Again, fraudsters are always on the prowl when any type of situation like this arises. They thrive in chaos. And so it's very important for you guys to keep a lookout on your accounts, making sure that money is not leaving your accounts for any other reason other than a proper reason that you have authorized. So just do keep a lookout on your bank accounts in general. The third thing that we should talk about is title insurance and gap coverage. So title insurance companies are actually not requiring us to meet face-to-face with people for them to give us our title insurance policies. The title insurance policy, as you know, when you're buying a house, it protects you from any issues related to title. So it's very important that we have this insurance. And the other thing that it provides is gap coverage. So that becomes very relevant because if we cannot close a deal on time, or there is some type of technical issues with the LRO which prevents us from registering, even though they're not shut down, they might have a technical glitch. Title insurance, most title insurance companies, all the ones that we deal with, are providing gap coverage, meaning that from the time that your deal closes officially, so the money is transferred, the keys are transferred, until the actual time of the registration, which might not happen for a day or a week or 2 weeks later, depending on the situation, that transaction is still insured. In other words, the same protections are in place as if it were registered. So that's a great thing that title insurance companies have in place. It's always been there, and now it's just going to be in use more. The next thing that you want to talk about is signing and meeting remotely. The Law Society and other societies have kind of modified their rules to allow lawyers to identify, to meet and identify clients remotely, not necessarily in person. So we're taking advantage of all those tools that we have, for example, like Zoom meetings, Skype, FaceTime. Certain documents we can still get signed electronically through DocuSign. The controversy comes when we're talking about statutory declarations and whether these have to be sworn in the presence of the lawyer. Currently, the way that the law is written, it says that it has to be signed in the presence of the commissioner or the lawyer. Now, in the presence of is actually an ambiguous term because this was written before lawyers had access to all of these remote tools that we have now. So it's arguable and debatable, and it is being debated whether or not the lawyer or the commissioner has to be physically in presence of a person to administer an oath or to swear an affidavit. So there's no easy answer to this. We're trying our best to ensure that all of these oaths are administered properly, all the declarations are executed properly, and that you as clients understand what you are signing. That is the main point. The lawyers still have an obligation to explain to you what you are signing. So that can happen in a multiple of ways. There can be meetings over the phone or on videos to explain the nature of the transaction and the documentation, and the signing can be a separate meeting that takes place either in the office or out of the office. A lot of lawyers are setting up, drive-in services where you can drive in and meet the lawyer. Some of them are going to the client's driveways to meet them, and some are doing a hybrid version of these video signings and face-to-face meetings. So, in other words, the Law Society has given us some kind of flexibility in terms of how we see fit to meet our professional obligations. And we're just trying our best to make sure that we're in line with those, and that all the lenders and the purchasers and all the parties involved are satisfied with the requirements.